Hello again, everyone. Today I am here with some more ink swatching for fountain pens from Birmingham Pen Company. And these, for the majority of them anyway, are some of their super sheening inks that they've released recently. I'm actually looking to see on the package. They all came in these little boxes. I just broke them down and took them out so you wouldn't have to watch that. But they call these their rich formula, and then they have additional guidance for use as opposed to normal inks. And really, they are talking about how they're saturated and longer drying times are to be expected, and that pens using them should be cleaned more often just because they have a likelihood to stain, I would assume. So I will keep these instructions in my little ink swatch book here. I will put a link down below, as I usually do, to this setup so that you can see how I have everything laid out. I'm pretty sure I have spots for these, but if not, you may see me drawing some spots in there because I didn't check that before I started filming. So I'm going to put that box off to the side. And with these orders from Birmingham Pen Company, you always get a couple of business cards like these. This one's actually a postcard and a little thank you card, and then an invoice with always a very cute paper clip. This one looks like a little bottle of ink. And then they also include a little test sheet to test your inks. This is 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. I have not used these yet. The ones that I get, it's off-white, which is not my preferred color, but it's great that they include them if you want to test your inks as soon as you get them on some paper. But I'm going to go ahead and swatch these in my ink book so that I can keep track of which inks I have. So these four here are the new Super Sheening inks. This one is just part of their regular collection. This one is Cold Steel. It's just a normal color. And here I have I think they only have 4 Sheening inks, and then they have a couple of new sparkly and sheening inks. I did not get those, but I think these 4 are the only ones that are sheening only in their new collection. So I have Ultramarine, Voltaic Arc, Jade Inferno, and Tesla Coil. So I'm going to put these bottles off to the side here, and I have my little swatching tools all ready. I have my glass pen here, which I'm actually going to move off to the side. And I have a glass of water off to the side so I can rinse these off in between. And then I have my 3A automatic pen. There are links to these tools that I use in the video that I've linked down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in here and see where we are. Let's see. So, yeah, so I have 4. Okay, so I have 4 here, but I have 5 inks. And I don't know if I want to let these dry before flipping the page, so I think I'm actually going to start a new one here. You can see that this ink is very pigmented. It went all the way through. This one is Soda Pop Blue. So I'm actually going to leave these blank and move on to a new page. And I am going to make my little guidelines with this page. This is actually a pencil board, I think. But I'm using it as both a ruler to mark the lines in between individual ink samples, and also as a pencil board, or a board to make it so that the page is stiff underneath. So I just put 3 lines on the page so that we can have 4 swatch spaces, and then I'm going to do the same on the other page. Just extend that over. And this is just a Sharpie pen. I can tell that it's running out of ink a little bit. It's been in here for quite a while and has been used a lot. It also could be that I'm pressing fairly lightly on it. Okay, so there you go. A little bit behind the scenes there of how the really easy way that I create the distinctions between my little spots here. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I'll start on this page and then I'll go over here. I will eventually use these spots, but I swatch on the left-hand side of the little marked out space, so it won't interfere with the swatch on the prior page. So I will start here, like I said, and then go on to this page. So actually, let's go ahead and put the regular ink on this page, and then I will go through with the highly sheening inks. So like I said, this one is Cold Steel. And and it's a very snowy, cold day today, and these just arrived on my porch. And surprisingly, they feel fine. They don't even feel that cold. They really wrapped them well in the packaging. I was a little, because these came so late. They were shipped a long time ago, actually. Because it took so long for them to get here, I was a little curious as to whether I would have issues with the ink. But it seems like it is doing just fine. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'll make sure I pay attention to where I am when I'm swatching these. So it's a very dark blue, this one. Get a little bit of variation there if we can. Okay. Rinsing off that automatic pen. I fully expect these next inks to stain pretty well on these tools. So it might take me just a little bit more time to rinse them off. Okay, so move that in so you can see. So I just put my glass dip pen in there. Okay, interesting. I'm just going to put Birmingham. Normally I put Birmingham Pen Company, but I know what this is. So this color is Cold Steel. Oops. I think I left a little too much ink on the glass dip pen here. I've been having that issue if I don't thoroughly get off some extra ink there on the glass dip pen. That's actually a pretty staining ink as well. And it seems like it's lightening up a little bit as it's drying, but it's very pretty. Okay, so let's start with Ultramarine for the Sheening inks here. Okay, and I'm going to do this one here. Oh wow, yeah, I can tell already that it's super vibrant. Ultramarine, generally for pigments, for paints and things like that, is a very red leaning blue, and that is definitely what I'm seeing here. And actually, it's not staining any more than the Cold Steel was, so that's kind of interesting. All right, I'm going to get in here with the glass dip pen, and now I'm going to thoroughly scrape off the excess ink so that it doesn't pool like it did over here. Let's see. Oh no, it's still doing it. I wonder if it's the ink itself. So this is, again, Birmingham. Oh my goodness, I'm misspelling everything today. I have a bit of a headache, so that's not helping. So this is Ultramarine. Became a little less splotchy there as I went. Yeah, again, I would say that this is probably equally as staining as the last color. So let's go ahead and put the lid back on that one. And then I'm going to do Voltaic Arc next. Oh, that looks like a lovely color just from what I can see in the bottle. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see me dipping just because of how far I have zoomed in here so you can see the color. And I'll put this up to the camera as well before I end the video. That's a lovely color. I can tell it's sort of a deep aqua color. That's lovely. Yeah, and I'm not finding, so far, I'm not finding these any more staining than the regular color. Although this one is a little bit more than Ultramarine. But not by much. Very saturated colors. And I'm hoping you'll be able to see the sheen a bit on this once it's dried a little bit. Again, this is Birmingham. And this is Voltaic Arc. That's actually a very beautiful color. I like that one a lot. Yeah, I would say that this one is a little bit more staining than the Ultramarine, but the Ultramarine was about the same as the Cold Steel. Okay, 2 more left. Let's go with Jade Inferno now, which I'm assuming by its name is a little more green. I can't remember what color the Tesla coil is. It's been so long since I ordered these. They were really held up in the mail for a really long time. Oops. Oh, that's beautiful. A little bit lighter, but still pretty visible. Okay. And again, not super staining on that one. Let's get in with the glass dip pen. Birmingham. Keep leaving that R out. And this is Jade Inferno. Okay. I've never seen a Jade Inferno. Maybe you have. I don't know. I haven't. I'll probably do a little bit of extra rinsing off of these tools once I'm done here, just to make sure there's not pigment left stuck on there. Okay, so this last one is Tesla Coil. Oh yes, it's sheening nicely. Definitely think you'll be able to see that. Oh, and this one is blue again. I probably should have put that one up at the top of the page. Okay. Yes, very blue. Yeah, so I'd say of these colors, the Voltaic Arc has been the most staining. This one actually is not bad at all. And I assume that that's probably going to be an indicator of how staining they might be in pens. Okay. Got that R in there this time. Birmingham. Tesla Coil. Yeah, and now that I remember, this is actually, it seemed very similar to the Ultramarine, just a little less warm in its undertone. And, okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and cap that last bottle up. And then I will show you these close up. So let's go ahead and look at the plain Jane one here, the Cold Steel. So that one looks very matte when dried. It seems like you could get some shading on it. I'm not seeing a whole lot in the lettering here, but I did have a pretty heavy flow of ink off of my glass dip pen there. And then we have these Sheening inks. So here we have the Ultramarine. You can see some of that red sheen there, and there'll probably be even more once that little spot there dries. The next one is Voltaic Arc, which is really pretty. I think of these, it's my favorite, and of course it would seem like the most staining. I think this one is sort of a dark turquoise with a red sheen, which seems a little bit more pronounced than the Ultramarine. And then next we have the Jade Inferno, which I'm not really seeing a lot of sheen here. And maybe it would vary depending on the paper, but I'm not seeing a whole lot there. So I'm kind of wondering, because I'm not seeing well, I guess I see a little bit, but that's kind of around where it's still wet. A little bit of a reddish sheen, but not a whole lot. And then down here we have Tesla Coil, which also seems to be pretty sheening. It's blue, but you've got that red sheening. These dry so fast here that I generally don't edit to show them to you dry. So this is mostly dry, really. You've only got a couple of little wet spots there, but so you can really see that sheen. But yeah, Jade Inferno is a little bit disappointing in that I'm just not seeing a whole lot of sheen there. And Voltaic Arc is definitely doing that. In the writing, you can see it as well. Yeah, I'm not seeing any in the writing either. With the writing on the Tesla Coil, you can definitely see it. And like I said, I think it would probably depend on your paper. The sheening is not showing up so much in the Ultramarine. So there you go. And this is Tomoe River paper, the thinner, well, actually it might be the thicker Tomoe River paper. This might be 68. It's a Taroko Shop notebook from Etsy, which I believe is the 68 GSM. So depending on your paper, it may show up differently, but I thought I would show those to you since they are rather new colors from Birmingham. They make small batches of colors, so they may not be available forever, but I just wanted to show you them when they came in today. All right, well, that's all I had for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.